A study of 156 young women had them rate the attractiveness of a sexist profile and rate the attractiveness of a non-sexist profile. And while the sexist profile scored a 3.9 out of 5, the non-sexist profile got a 2.4 out of 5.
It all began with Sydney Sweeney's cleavage, as most things do. And Sydney Sweeney is being branded the first iteration of the conservative hot girl. A professor
in the
named
UK too.
Victoria Can. She told Newsweek, women have been positioned through the lens of the masculinist imagery in conservative populist politics for a very long time.
So what's your take?
My take is that all guys think they want to date the like cool, hot, artsy, baddie girlfriend with like baby bangs and a bad father, but that's actually not the case at all. What all guys in New York want is to date the like candid girlfriend. You can trademark that.
The more good looking you are, there is this thing that happens where boys think they need to humble you. They're so mean to me. They're so much meaner to me now than before I was successful.
Hello there fellas, welcome back to my channel. In today's video we're gonna cover liking beautiful women is wrong or sexist. I don't know what it is. Let's just see what we got here today.
So over the weekend, Newsweek published a mind-numbing opinion piece titled "How Hot Girls Became the Right's New Obsession." And to simplify this concept for you, they just interviewed a bunch of bitter academics.
Yes.
To ask them why men are into hot chicks and make them into mascots for whatever thing or idea or movement they have.
You know what it is that back in the 90s and the early 2000s, hot chicks wasn't a political statement. Stuff Magazine, FHM,
Maxim.
Playboy, Maxim. Hot chicks were a universally accepted practice here in America.
Guys, now they're hating on women who are good looking. Like, I mean, it's not a new thing. They've been doing this for years now. Because most of the women in power are not good looking themselves, so they get less attention compared to the ones who are good looking, young. So now they're salty and now, of course, putting the blame on men.
I was reading through this and I was like, just dreading, like, please don't mention that ultra-right beer calendar.
Did they do it?
No,
Did they didn't bring up the calendar gate?
Thank God they did not bring up the ultra-right dad beer calendar, because I just that would have been curtains for me. Like, I would have lost my mind. You would just find me rocking back and forth in the corner of a padded cell somewhere, and it would be over for me. So they say,
I can't do it.
It all began with Sydney Sweeney's cleavage, as most things do. This was back when Sydney Sweeney appeared on SNL, and she hosted the show for that night back in March. And then Richard Hanania, a right-wing podcaster, tweeted out an image of that SNL appearance saying, "Wokeness is dead." And apparently Sydney Sweeney's boobs killed it.
That just made it solid. That's it. Yep.
Yeah, so it all started with Sydney
internet.
Sweeney, and Sydney Sweeney is being branded the first iteration of the conservative hot girl, which basically means that a bunch of conservative men on the internet took the image of this hot chick and made her into an honorary mascot for their political ideology.
Man, that's some next level nonsense. Like, just because she's attractive and appear on some podcast, all of a sudden they're labeling her as some far-right mascot of some sort. Like, what kind of drugs they are taking? Like, this kind of nonsense just cannot be from a sane person.
And like, it's funny because she knows how to pretend that she's stupid.
She's not.
She's
She's very
not.
business savvy, right? That's even better. So there was this article, it said Sydney Sweeney practically begged SNL cast to make jokes about my...
Right. They pointed out that Bowen Yang, one of the SNL actors, said in an interview about Sydney Sweeney's appearance on SNL, she was actually really the one pushing for all of the jokes about her body because, you know,
she knows she knows
what her market is.
Yeah. She knows where her audience is. She knows she was in the middle of one of the biggest media pushes of her life, and it was now or never. Go for it.
But the conservative hot girls have been claimed by right-wing public figures as their own, whether they appear to like it or not. So they're being whisked away like Persephone into Hades. I made that part up. But the conservative hot girl isn't a particularly new phenomenon, according to a professor
In the
named
UK too.
Victoria Can. She told Newsweek women have been positioned through the lens of the masculinist imagery in conservative populist politics for a very long time.
Of course, it has to be some woman saying some nonsense like that. And just because he has the title of a professor, all of a sudden, her words contain some value. I don't think so. It's just another agenda from these people.
Now, I like to think that I'm, a relatively intelligent person, maybe a little bit smarter than the average Joe Schmo 32. I don't know what that means. I can read and I don't know what that sentence means.
I don't know what masculinist means.
And as masculinist imaginary. The lens of the masculinist
know.
imaginary. And she's in the UK. Why is freaking UK broad talking about
Yeah, she's talking
America?
about our politics.
Yeah.
Shut up.
F off, lady.
No, and the funny thing is 20 years ago, the right-wing people would have been the one saying, you should not be doing that. Playboy's bad.
Cover up.
Cover up. What it is now, they're blaming the right for what the left was doing in the 90s and
They're
the 2000s.
blaming the right, ironically, for moving left.
Yes, they are.
And it's sad because it just means that both sides have been morally hollowed out.
That's kind of true. Decades ago, they were protesting about they should be able to wear what they want, be how they want, look how they want. And now that they can wear what they want and where they show most of the skin, which does fall in the category of looking good or attractive, all of a sudden that's bad now. And they're going to blame the right. And most of the time, it's just mainly blaming men, not the woman in the right. So basically blaming men for everything that happened. Even though it is a result of what they were trying to advertise. Let me know what you guys feel about this whole scenario. Since when are hot chicks no obsession for dudes? To be clear, I've always been obsessed with hot girls. Calling hot girls a new obsession is indicative of being severely out of touch with reality. They're just making things up, man. They just want to blame. They just want to find fault and just blame anything on men.
So what's your take?
My take is that all guys think they want to date the cool, hot, artsy, baddie girlfriend with baby bangs and a bad father, but that's actually not the case at all. What all guys in New York want is to date the candid girlfriend. You can trademark that. Candid girlfriend is a girl who's 5'5.5", naturally thin, has mousy brown hair no longer than shoulder length. She's from New Hampshire, maybe studied art history, and I would say the biggest part of her personality is that she loves pomegranate. And her boyfriend thinks that's so quirky and adorable.
100% agree.
She's never the overt center of attention, but her boyfriend is always posting film photos of her, hashtag 35mm, on his Instagram story. And she's always just kind of the candid girl is the patient zero of the pick-me girl. She's not even trying to be pick-me. She just authentically has nothing going on in her brain.
Girl?
Pick-me girl is a girl who pretends to be interesting and unique to get attention. This girl just has nothing going on in her brain. She likes good pottery.
And so all guys want that?
All guys want that because they can make a muse out of her. Also, this girl is always referred to as this one in the caption of the photo. Happy birthday to this one. And it's always a photo of the back of her head. They're in Tokyo on vacation in the spring. Do you know what I'm talking about? They both love Japanese culture, but they're both white. I've really only seen her on the third slide of an IG photo dump on her boyfriend's Instagram. I would love to meet one of them. I'm a girl's girl. I want to see you up close. I want to touch your skin. Her name's Emily. They're taking the hot men.
They're taking the hot men. Wow, gotta love this delusional woman. I don't know if this is scared or whatnot. You guys can let me know. But this was really intriguing. It's kind of stupid, but also intriguing. Now there's this article. It's probably very old, but it's kind of hilarious when I read this and I wanted to share. It says, men who hate pretty women. Let's say I see a woman and she looks really pretty and really clean and sexy and she's giving off very feminine vibes. I think, wow, I would love to make love to her. but I know she's not interested. It's a tease. A lot of times a woman knows that she's really good looking and she'll use that and flaunt it and make me feel like she's laughing at me and I feel degraded. Literally never once in my life have I ever felt this way, or I ever heard from my friends or colleagues that they felt this way. This is literally what a woman would think. And of course, this is written by a woman. Another quote, guys believe that they're entitled to women's bodies, entitled to sex. Unfortunately for them, a significant number of women don't see it that way. And when entitlement is thwarted, guys seek revenge. Curiously, while psychologists, feminists, and legal systems see male aggression as the initiation of violence, guys describe it as not as initiation but as a retaliation. What are they retaliating against? The power that women have over them. That's the biggest BS I have ever heard. Like, they will just make any kind of nonsense.
The truth is, no one wants to be dating the guy that follows girls on Instagram just because he thinks they're hot. Even if they're not, like, in lingerie, even if they're not porn stars, like, no one wants to be dating the guy that's liking all of Kylie Jenner's photos. Like, there's only one reason that he follows an account like Kylie Jenner or similar. Whether they're a celebrity or not, he's following them to look at their body. No one wants to be dating that guy. And also, it's very tacky to say, I want commitment, I'm looking for a wife, but be following girls just because they're hot and you want to look at them on social media. So I fully support this kind of conversation. Like, if you want to break up with a guy because he's following hot girls and they're not half naked, but he's still following them because they're hot girls, I fully support you in breaking up with him. Also, like, I would say, as a grown woman, if I wasn't married and I was in the dating world, there's no way I would take a guy seriously if he was following, like, Kylie Jenner and similar accounts. I don't care if they're not technically porn stars. That would be enough for me to just be grossed out. Like, I just wouldn't have interest in him.
Kinda hard to believe that she is married. Her whole content or the page is dedicated towards breaking up with your boyfriend. Like, most of her posts are related to that. This is one of those I just found. And where she's saying that guys should not like other women who are good looking. I agree to some aspect. Like, if you're committed, you have a girlfriend, just don't do that shit. Just remove all the pages that you follow because it serves no purpose other than thirst traps. And a sane guy would not do that. I know that because even my feeds are mostly about memes and such kind of nonsense. I rarely have some woman showing her body or dancing around. I think my algorithm understands me well. So if a guy who has such kind of thing on his feeds, yeah, it's most likely the algorithm is just showing what the guy prefers.
A study of 156 young women had them rate the attractiveness of a sexist profile and rate the attractiveness of a non-sexist profile. And while the sexist profile scored a 3.9 out of 5, the non-sexist profile got a 2.4 out of 5. And this result is consistent with the broader literature, indicating that women, on average, rate a certain type of sexist as more likable and attractive for both short-term and long-term mating. Now, to be clear, I'm talking about a very specific brand of sexism, beliefs like this, which form a construct known as benevolent sexism.
Women should be cherished and protected by men. Men should be willing to sacrifice their own well-being in order to provide financially for women and their lives. Man, what kind of sim mentality is that? Many women have quality or purity and a few men possess. In no way he is talking about modern women. Let's continue.
Hostile sexists, right? Men who believe stuff like this repel women, as you'd expect. But women generally like benevolent sexists, as their beliefs are broadly construed as romantic, and from a practical perspective are very helpful, right? Who doesn't like free dinner? But if you think about it, believing that women must be protected and provided for is pretty infantilizing, and frankly facilitates their dependence on men. First he pays for dinner, then he sorts out the taxes, then he does the budget. Oh, life's so easy, but now he controls all of your finances. Really, if you want someone to become dependent on you, the best thing you can do is not become super controlling, but just do everything for them. And this is part of why some scholars think chivalry, benevolent sexism, or BS, is actually more dangerous than hostile sexism. More dangerous to women because it's the type of sexism that women buy into, in general.
The prettier and more successful you are, the harder it is to date.
Interesting perspective. Let's hear some more about this.
So many women that I know that are super hot are single.
Okay, and?
And also for me, like the more successful I get, I feel like the harder it is to date because all of a sudden the layer of BS that you were kind of falling for before because you thought, oh yeah, you know, I gotta put up with it or like it's normal. All of a sudden you're like, wait a second, I don't actually need this.
So nothing about one's physical appearance actually changed, just one's attitude. Got it.
The more good looking you are, there is this thing that happens where boys think they need to humble you. They're so mean to me. They're so much meaner to me now than before I was successful and before I kind of came into my own.
No, that's not normal. What type of guys is one hanging around?
I feel like they were so much nicer to me, and now it's like they really make it their job to humble me.
Maybe it has something to do with the attitude. There is a fine line, after all, between being confident and being pompous.
For real, the hotter you are, like so many hot women that I know, they're all single. Literally, so many successful women, like 90% of hot and successful women that I know, they're all single. And I'm like, why?
Very simply, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what a person looks like and how good looking they are. Some individuals just aren't willing to put up with a bad attitude.
So anyways, guys, let me know what you guys feel about this whole scenario about being good looking or dating good looking woman is sexist.
Warner Brothers is producing a new movie in which Superman is black. And a black Superman actually makes a lot of sense when you remember that Superman was abandoned by his parents as a baby. Well, I knew you'd like that one, so here's another one. Warner Brothers is producing a new movie in which Superman is black. In this version, black Superman's kryptonite is an honest day's work. And before I go, I just thought of another punchline for that black Superman story.
I'm so happy, bro.
Superman will be referred to as the Man of Steel, spelled S-T-E-A-L.
You think one is cool? I'm about to do 3. What? 1, 2. You think?
What's the freakiest thing you've ever done?
Probably this interview.
What do you mean we haven't even done anything?
You suck my just back there.
Oh! Okay.
Anyways, guys, that's it for this video. If you enjoyed, don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Comment your opinions in the comment section below. Help the channel. That's it. Here are some more videos of interest that you can watch. That's it. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next one.